Well, it's June and it's time for another Energy Matters segment with LGE. And this month we're talking about national safety. And I'm here with Liz Pratt, and welcome back to Urban Lifestyle.
Thank you.
All right, so when we're talking about safety and June, how do those two things come together, and what does that mean from LGE's perspective?
Well, June is the official kickoff to the summer months, but it's also National Safety Month, and here at the company, safety is our top priority. So we wanted to share with viewers a few things that they can do at home, but then also give them a glimpse of some of the things that we do, our crews and our employees, when they're out in the field to ensure their personal safety and the safety of those around them.
And one thing about that is because in the summer we're seeing a lot of the crews that are out in the neighborhoods, and if they're like me that are at home looking, you're always peeping out and you wonder what they're doing. And this will kind of give us somewhat of a peek behind the curtain.
Absolutely. So we have joining us today
All right.
Greg Lindsay, Manager of Electric Technical Training and Public Safety. And we also have Steve Denning, who is Group Leader, Line Construction and Maintenance. So they're going to join us today to talk a little bit more about what viewers may be seeing when they see crews working, but then also the steps that crews take before they start each assignment.
All right, and Liz, don't go anyplace, but I'm going to talk to them and just find a little bit more. So Greg and Steve, welcome to Urban Lifestyle. And Steve, you've been with us before, so I'm going to start with you telling us a little bit about your role and some things that we can expect.
Well, I manage about 75 line techs. We have 2 operations center, this being one. And so every morning our management team, supervisors, get with our crews before they go out in the field to serve our customers for restoration or new business. And they work with our employees to ensure that not only they're following the safety for themselves, but for the customers as well.
And you, Greg?
I'm an manager of electric technical training and public safety. I'm responsible for training all the electric employees in LGE and also making sure we get out into the community and do safety presentations to let the customers make them aware of different dangers that go along with the utility.
So Steve, I'm going to come back to you, and I know you've got your truck here with a lot of equipment and things on the back. So let's take a walk over there and just try to get an idea of some of the things that you brought with us and what we should know.
Right. Well, obviously our hard hat here to protect our employees from any obstructions or incidents that may fall down on their head. Okay. Right. So we want to make sure they're safe. These here are rubber gloves, good for 20,000 volts. These particular brands are from Salisbury. Our line technicians and sleeves, as you can see, wear those before they go aloft, whether climbing or in a bucket, anytime they're close or working on energized power lines. So this is a key component for their PPE, personal protective equipment, every day that they use.
So at the end of the day, safety is of the utmost importance.
Absolutely. It's the highest skill set we value is the safety of our employees and for our customers as well.
Now, does any special training or anything come along with your individuals before they, I know you just don't have them this equipment to say go out. I'm sure there's some training that's a part of that.
There is a regular program. Greg is a part of that.
All right, so Greg, tell us about the program.
There's a 3-year apprenticeship, line tech apprenticeship. So employees actually go through classroom work, and then they actually ride on the trucks for a 3-year period to learn everything about the utility, and then they learn how to inspect it. As Steve was talking, these gloves are inspected before each use, and they're inspected. They go through our dielectric testing lab every 3 months, and they get checked for cracks or anything that might penetrate them, and then and if there's something bad, we'll pull them off. Like Steve said, these gloves are rated up to 20,000 volts. If you see them, this side's yellow and then this side's black. Well, if you stretch that out, you'll see the yellow through the black. Each side is tested for, it can take 20,000 volts, but if one side is damaged, then we throw it out and get a new set, or get the line tech a new set.
All right, so in terms of the guys that are out in the community, I'm sure females as well, what are some of the things that the general public should know when they see them out in your neighborhood?
Well, one of the things, we want to make sure that our vehicles are protected from the public, that we have our cones, safety signs out, trucks are chalked, and ensure that it's a visual, both whether it's daylight or night, that the public sees that. So it's one of the first things we do when we set up on the street, whether it's a neighborhood or a busy road. And we may use flaggers as well, depending on what the option may call. Second thing, the crew will gather together and go over the particular scope of work, because that could have changed when they left in the morning once they review what's going on in that particular site. And they will go over a tailboard or a job briefing that we call on every job that happens with all the employees there. Similar to this group here as we're standing around to ensure everybody clearly understands what the task at hand is.
And one thing that the general public should know is that if you see LG&E out in your neighborhood, they're going to be properly marked with LG&E logo wear, so you know that it is reputable and it's LG&E.
That is correct, as well as with the company ID badge, right? All of our employees and contractors are required to have those, and we encourage the public to ask for those if they have any doubt whatsoever.
Well, guys, thanks for spending some time with us. I'm going to go back over here to Liz. So, Liz, we've looked at it from LG&E's perspective. Now let's talk about the consumer, that homeowner. Let's talk about me, because at the end of the day, that's what the consumer wants to know about and some things that they can do to be safe.
Well, much like what Greg and Steve were sharing, for viewers at home, always be mindful and aware of your surroundings. In particular, make sure you're aware of how close you are to any power lines. Always avoid and stay away from any downed power lines or damaged electric equipment. But, first and foremost, be aware of your surroundings. If you're going to be performing work out in your yard, do it during daylight hours so that way you can see any potential hazardous conditions or unsafe things that may be in your way. So, we want viewers to remain safe if they are near working your electric power lines. That includes do not climb trees, do not put ladders up in trees that are near power lines. If you do see a tree limb that may be close to a power line, contact us and we want to come out and look at it.
And some other things that I noticed on your tip sheet that you gave me, your tip sheet, my cheat sheet, is that if you're carrying a ladder around through the yard, don't carry it vertical, carry it parallel to make sure that you don't hit any power lines or anything like that. So really what you offer is just a lot of common sense information.
Absolutely, and some tips to be aware if you are working near power lines, but be aware of your surroundings and perform any work during daytime hours. We do offer more tips and more information about electric safety and a variety of things that you can do at home if you visit lge-ku.com/safety.
All right, you took my next line, which was how could you find out more information? So you've already given us that. So what are some other things that LG&E is working on that we should be aware of?
Well, we have lots of projects going on. We're continually investing in our system to ensure we're delivering customers safe, reliable service. And we're also performing projects that are hardening our system. So these are things that we're doing year round, but you also will see crews out in your neighborhood from time to time doing everything from maintenance work to making repairs in the event we experience a storm.